Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku prayer, please stand. 高浜原にかむすまります。かむろぎかぶろみのみこともちて、すべみおやかむみさまいのみことつくしのりむかのたち、花のおどのあわぎはらに、急ぎ払いたもうときになりませる。払いどの神たち、もろもろのまがごと、罪けがれを払いたまえ、清めたまえ、とまをすことのよしよ、あまつ神、国つ神やおよろずの神たちともに、雨の口ごまの耳振り立てて、きこしめせと、かしこみむまおす。弥勒を三神守りたまえ、先はえたまえ。弥勒を三神守りたまえ、先はえたまえ。教えにおや主の神守りたまえ、先はえたまえ。教えにおや主の神守りたまえ、先はえたまえ。かんながらたまちあえませ。かんながらたまちあえませ。Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Melhor dimensão, Márcio.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Happiness. In their pursuit of happiness, many attempt to grasp it by relying on material things. But what they seek is not there. How pitiful are those who cut the ties of happiness of their own accord and choose instead to take the road to hell. Civilization does not bring happiness. Today's world is a civilization humanity has created for itself. Endeavoring to make others happy is absolutely required in order to achieve happiness for ourselves. However, there are too many individuals in this world who think only of attaining happiness for themselves without giving thought to the unhappy states of others. This is truly foolish attitude because in trying to reap the fruits of happiness, they are sowing the seeds of unhappiness. The true objective of spiritual teachings is to implant in one's mind a love for others, a desire to work for the welfare of others. God has given people complete freedom of choice. Our innate value and dignity lie in this gift, which causes us to differ from animals. Each person is free to elevate himself or herself and so approach divinity, just as each is free to drop to the level of the beasts. Under normal conditions, a person is at neither extreme, but is somewhere between. Through their own choice and efforts, people bring about conditions of either happiness or suffering here on earth.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association. A while ago, I shared about how my family and I became involved in Johrei. My mother was the first member in my family. She received the Sacred Focal Point Ohigari in 1968. Soon after, she learned the importance of the offerings of gratitude, the donations of gratitude. Her minister taught her how important that was, and she started practicing that. However, in my family, this scenario. My father would always put all his salary, all his money in my mother's hand. My mother was a homemaker. She was not working outside. We all know that the mothers that stay home, they have to work a lot. Anyway, he was giving his salary in her hands for her to manage all the home's expense. With that, she would make the donation first thing. But she was concerned that she was not telling my father what she was doing because my father really didn't care how the money was managed. He was entrusting my mother completely. So she asked the minister, I'm not telling my husband that I'm making the donation. In fact, it's the first thing I do. Is that all right? Am I deceiving him somehow? And because if I would tell him, probably he would not be in agreement. And the minister guided, well, you are doing the right thing because you are pleasing God and Meishu-sama first. That's okay. You can continue doing so. So she continued for a couple of years, and then about 4 years doing this practice. Then one time, my father changed his mind and decided to to manage the finances at home. So he told my mother, look, this month, from now on, I will be the manager of the expenses. And she thought, okay, so if you think you can do a better job than me, fine, no problem. But her major concern was how to make the donation then, because she was not earning an income of her own. And she prayed and continued her dedication. She was going to the center several times a week. And didn't take 2 weeks because my father was then the one managing the expenses. And after just half a month, all the money was gone. He's overspent. And then he realized my mother was doing a better job. So she was so relieved because the first concern was not how to pay other expenses, but how to make the donation, which was the very first thing. And then since then, she continued with the practice, which I learned from her. I learned from other ministers as well, which I've been always doing. First, when my salary is deposited in my account, the first thing is donation to the divine cause. And through the accumulation of virtue and dedications, we sometimes receive unexpected blessings. This happens when, once, for instance, one of my kids was in the age that we would decide, okay, this child deserves to have a cell phone. So let's include this child in our phone account. So when I was making the arrangement, it was so interesting because the customer service representative, well, I was answering questions and whatnot, and she realized, look, sir, I think you're paying more than you deserve. I can help you save some money here. So, oh, really? Yeah, yes. So let me check here the numbers. Yeah, yes. I can reduce your amount you are paying by almost half. I say, are you kidding? So it was not something I was pursuing myself. I was including a new phone line. But she said, and I will do all the paperwork for you. So this is great. So there was a blessing that fall from the sky, so to speak. So I credit that well. Other things that probably I'm doing, my wife is doing, is accumulating these virtue deeds, and they are bouncing back. They come at an expected time. Also, another time, I did my taxes. Every year, I do my taxes diligently, and I hired the service of an accountant to help me do that. So the accountant filed the taxes for me, and through the process, I was entitled to have a refund, which was great. I was happy with that. Then later on, I received a letter and a check from the IRS saying, look, you are entitled to more refund than it was reported. So here is your $450 check. So I said, wow, even I entrusted was a good professional, good accountant, which he did his best to file my taxes, and even more. So I received this another check. So all these blessings, they come sometimes at unexpected times, or when we accumulate virtue, there will be time to like cash in the savings account in the spiritual world. There is this passage from this member. This member, like my mother, was a homemaker, so didn't have an income of her own. And she decided to do her donation in the following. There were two ways she was making her donations. First, whenever she would see coupons and savings in her local newspaper, she would go to the supermarket, and the amount that she was saving, let's say in dollars, could be $1 or a few cents. So that she turned into donations. So she was making small donations like that regularly. And then also, instead of taking a bus to go from her home to the Johrei Center, she decided to walk. So the fare that she was saving from the bus, she was turning that into donation. For instance, here in New York City nowadays, bus fare is $2.75. I suppose that each time that she was saving that, so she was turning that into a donation. And she did that for months and months. And this particular member has family here in the United States. And she came once to visit. While visiting, she got a heart attack. She got a heart attack. So she was hospitalized then. And it was around Christmas time. And the amazing thing is that if you are familiar, if you have ever visited the emergency section of a hospital, it is always filled with people. There are so many cases, and people are very busy and whatnot. At that time, there were very few people. So her heart was, her condition was attended by a team of elite doctors because they had no other patients on the heart surgery section to attend for, which is very unusual. You know, heart attacks happen all the time. So many people have issues. So at that particular, these hours that she was there, so she was attended by all this team, which was a very successful procedure. So that's part of the story. But the other part of the story is because she was visiting on a tourist visa. She didn't have a health insurance here. So the family had to talk to the social services of the hospital, explain the situation, and the lady that was attending them then said, you know what, it's Christmas time. Just sign this paper, but you don't have to pay anything, okay? So good luck for you. So they were all amazed if they would be billed for all the care that she had. It would be thousands and thousands of dollars. That means all the accumulated effort that she put when she was making these small donations. So eventually served her. She was protected. So it was a beautiful experience, and that I wanted to share with you. I want to also wish you a very wonderful Saturday, a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you in our upcoming services like the evening service this evening at 6 p.m. New York time. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a blessed day.